Hey y'all, yeah, there's something I realized here, and it's been in a few readings. It's like they were saying something and it brought back something horrible. Around the time that I smelled death, a dead body next door, sometime after that, apparently I had like really bad nightmare, and it was literally what happened. But it's like it was so bad that I didn't remember it. Um, Not totally, but I had this horrible feeling that Rasputin was murdered next door. I mean, I like cried and everything. But then I'm getting, someone that's bothering me, but has his number, his name, and all this shit. But see, there's something that happened a long time ago. First time I ever got on social media, I was led to social media by White Rapper Boy, the half brother, but it was as himself. We'll say Ace and J. Like when I was a kid, that was, who grew up down the street from me. I called him a twit. I never liked him. There's just something, I don't know, I just never liked him, something evil on him. But that's who's been involved with, sending these people into me. Someone for me to date that I never wanted to date. Working with his dad and his mother. Doing this the whole time. But it's literally his dad, my uncle, that's, the main culprits. But they, do things to people, blackmail them, poison them, drug them, get them on stuff without really their knowing it. They're just, fucked up. He uses every weapon he can, and he gets everyone to do what he wants. Okay? But where I've spoken about Rasputin, and apparently he had already passed, but, the reason the energy was there is because he murdered him. Did a destiny swap and murdered him, so the energy's on him. So freaking terrified that he murders people, or any of these people do. They murder people, they're so dark, because, they're wearing other people's energy. And they murder people or animals and are hateful because they're in absolute fear of what's coming to them, but it's really just the demiurge of what's coming to him, but these other people participated. How do you do that? How do you just murder someone? The reason, they were able to blackmail them because these people put things on people and on families centuries ago. The Medici family and so on. You can follow this line down. You follow it down, it's birthed literally through the females. So is it a woman's fault if she's raped when everything's been in this way that people really couldn't see what was going on? They use black magic, witchcraft, and they're always around. They have to be around in order to mess with devices and to be able to watch and to, take energy, to siphon it off. I've been saying, this energy was right next door, but they murdered Rasputin, but that energy's right there. And it's like around, it's like he walks by, in a get-up, he'll be dressed as an old man or an old lady or, someone somewhat younger, but it's straight up Lucifer. That's who Custard is. Francis de Medici. Who else to say? The Habsburgs. Charles Habsburg II of Spain, and his daddy. He was the seventh, which there was a video I did something about Joan of Arc. I believe it was Charles VII, not the second, but because of him wearing Rasputin's energy, his energy's around. But the first time I was messaged by someone on Telegram anonymously, or anyone anonymously, ever since I'd been on social media, it's always been White Rapper Boy. So, that's the big, huge stalker with his daddy texting him and the others telling him all what to do, directing everyone. So, that's who's, the main culprit, and things didn't make sense. It was all twisted because they do black magic on everything. They do it on law officials. And look, I have nothing against good law officials. It's the corrupt ones that, the ones that just work for them. You can't sit on the fence. You've got to choose a side because, Chronos, Father Time, he's the one that ate his children. If you look into, Native Americans, they said, if you ate your children, you were eating everything that was theirs. The money that was supposed to be theirs, what they were supposed to live off of, and so on and so forth. That's what we're dealing with here. Satan is truly the ego. The Grim Reaper is the Grim Ego Reaper. But you don't want to be, let go of my ego. If your whole identity's in your ego and you can't let go of it, then you're going to be undone by that ego. You need to turn to God, the Most High, not, the one nation under God. Well, which God? That's a good question. Which God? Which God are you referring to? The demiurge or the Most High? The most divine, Spirit, the Holy Spirit? Do you welcome the Holy Spirit in? What are you doing? You need to do that so that you have protection, so that you can see, so that people aren't trapped and murdered. Against their will. They poison, everything they did to me, because this is how they work. They do poison, they, put drugs, whatever in your food, chloroform you. They get you when you're vulnerable. That's what it's all about. That's why they got to be close. To keep the friends close, but your enemies closer, because that's showing that they're always close. They have to be in order to exude this control and all this stuff. Wasn't it Gacy that was hanging out and talking with politicians and policemen, stuff like that, so that it's to run their illusions. It's how they do things. Catch me if you can. That's what White Rapper Boy does. And he does it by murdering innocents, or anyone that, how can I put, even people that aren't innocent, but anyone that they can dupe. And every time something dies, it goes to make their ego even that bigger, because they can't see. They're blinded by it. And they must be stopped. They think that I'm afraid of them. No, they don't think that. They may just be oblivious to the fact that they're afraid, but they behave in a way that they are afraid. They're afraid of anyone that has enlightenment and can see through their glass house. Why people in glass houses should throw stones, because all that darkness on them, it eventually shows, no matter all their illusions and everything they do. Yeah, when I was upset and sad, it was about Rasputin and what happened. I feel nothing about you, White Rapper Boy, and not your dad either, not sister, and my biological mother, nothing for you either. Yeah, you supposedly died back in 1969, but you're still alive. Just repeating the same things in previous lifetimes. These people do anything for money. Anything. Thou shalt not kill. Because that negativity is all over you, so you have to do more and more and more in order to hide. In order to mask yourself in someone else's energy. Yeah, there's always been one person that's been anonymously messaged me here and there, and I'm like, what the hell is this? It's White Rapper Boy. I knew who it was right at the beginning, and then because I said it right to him. I said his name and everything right to him. And he disappears and comes back. That's the big thief. White collar crime, every crime you can imagine. I don't know, he's got such a big ego, he thinks he's, he can do anything he wants. He's literally flaunting it in front of these officials' faces, hee hee ha ha, I can do anything I want, you don't even see me. Oh, but you're seen. You're seen. Alright. Thank y'all for watching, and now we know.